Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to Question Reality with Priscilla Leona, right here on LA Talk Radio.
Hello, and welcome to the Question Reality Radio Show. I'm Priscilla Leona, producer and host of this show, and we are coming to you live from Los Angeles, California. For 14 years, we've been providing our audience with entertainment industry career advice. Now, this show is for you if you are questioning your career reality about pursuing a career in show business, or if you're already working in a career in show business and or in the entertainment industry. That's not always show business, believe it or not. It's very detailed, very detailed. You have to look it up, Google it. And you just need some tips, advice, and resource information on how you can elevate your career status. Now, guests on our show include Emmy Award winners, Grammy Award winners, Tony Award winners, reality TV stars, and just a wide variety of working show business professionals who work in film and television and music and radio as producers and directors. And then we have casting directors, literary agents, casting agents, PR agents, talent managers, screenwriters, publicists, actors, comedians, singers, novelists, script supervisors, stunt people, entertainment attorneys, you name it. If they're working in the entertainment industry, we try to have them on the show to give you career advice. Now, if you missed any of our past shows, here are the 3 ways that you can listen to any of them. Number 1, you can download our free mobile app, which is obviously on the App Store or the Google Play Store. You can hear us on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Amazon Podcasts, Google, Audible.com, Stitcher.com. Just basically Google Question Reality or my name, Priscilla Leona, and you will find our shows. You can also listen to any of them from 2008 until this year, 2022, almost the end, by listening directly from the website that you're listening to us on right now, which is latalkradio.com. And again, look for our show title, Question Reality, or look for my name under the host tab. And we ask you a little favor, if we could kindly beg you, please subscribe to our podcast via Apple Podcasts, and also to give us a like or a follow on any of our social media pages. Of course, we're on, I guess, I've stuttered. I've never stuttered before. I actually stuttered. Oh, God, it might be like an impending disease. I'm going to have to, you know me. I'm always thinking I'm going to die in any second. I know it's terrible, but it's like if there's something that happens out of the ordinary, I'm like, oh, my God, what disease do I have? Am I dying right now? We're on all the major platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. My God, you'd think I had like 4 or 5 cocktails. I have not. Okay, LinkedIn. That's kind of hard. That's a hard word to say for me. LinkedIn and YouTube under my name, Priscilla Leona. Oh, and also recently I added TikTok, but they only let you do 3 minutes. But right now I'm in the process of cutting some of my favorite clips and putting them on TikTok. It's a long, arduous process. Let me tell you, this whole social media, they just keep adding social media sites, and you just got to more and more and more. You got to add all your stuff to everything. It's a lot. Finally, if you want to be booked on our show to promote and showcase your talents, any of your current or upcoming projects, or sell your products, or just help listeners by providing them with much appreciated entertainment industry advice. Now, This is where you got to focus, 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 focus. You know, we only have like 5 to 10 seconds of attention span these days. Okay. You have to go to our official website, which is questionrealityradioshow.com, questionrealityradioshow.com, not the website that you're listening to us on now, which is obviously latalkradio.com. This is the website where we air our show. So again, go to questionrealityradioshow.com, and this is where you can see our annual guest schedule, and you might want to go there and take a peek at who's the upcoming guest. Check out their website. So again, to submit to be booked on our show, click the contact link on questionrealityradioshow.com. Really, really easy. All we need is your name, email, title, and website, and you are on your way to heaven. Highway to heaven, I like to call it. Okay, so very exciting. Now we got that over. We are on to the most exciting, fun part of the interview, which is the guest, obviously. And I was so excited to book this little sexy lady on our show today. Her name, I love her name. I don't know why I love this name. Her name is Rachel B. Foy. I don't know why I love that name. I got to figure it out. But Rachel B. Foy, let me tell you a little about her. She is the best-selling author of the book and brand called iQuit. She's an iHeartRadio podcast host, reaching over 500,000 listeners daily. She's a life strategist, speaker, entrepreneur, and recently CBS Channel 2 KUTV featured an article about her book and brand, iQuit. And Rachel is just always inspiring others to just fearlessly pursue life's possibilities with willpower and a positive attitude. She's a laugher. And you know, I love laughers. I'm not a hearty laugher, but I love people who are, and she is a laugher, and I love that. So obviously she has a positive attitude. Now, what I love about her book and brand, iQuit, is that it's about choice. And you know me, I'm all about choices. As a matter of fact, I got 7 houses of Libra. Choices are like what I'm all about, right? I just love them. Multiple choices. Of course, I can never decide, but that's another story. Now, she says you can choose the abundant life intended for you, and you can get, following iQuit, the brand, the book, you can get the life that you truly desire and not allow life to choose for you. Now, you know what I say from time to time, you got to get a hold on yourself early in your life, because a lot of times people cannot figure out what they want to do in life. Now, there are some people, they come out of the womb and they hit the ground running and they're like, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer. They just know right away, and God bless them, they just do it. But then there are other people who have no idea, and it's very, very frustrating and very sad for people who just ramble through life and they really don't know what they want to do. Or they think, oh, I want to do that, and they do that, and they think, I don't like that. And they go through 10, 15 careers, and by the time they're 65, 75, they still haven't figured it out. Well, believe it or not, with the iQuit brand and book, I think that it may be able to help those people, because a lot of times these people I just spoke of, they just let life choose whoever they become. Life chooses for them. And I don't mean to be philosophical, but I don't necessarily mean to say that that's a bad thing, because there's lots of lives that have ended up fantastic and great by not having a career and just doing a whole bunch of different things. So one life isn't better than the other. It's just that if you desire, I would think, to be more focused and to really, really want to lock it down and you have that desire, then I say that this iQuit program and book might be able to help you do that. And what I love what Rachel says is she says that you can iQuit the toxic environments or toxic people that are draining you and stealing your joy and your energy and your peace. Now, I don't know about you listening out there, but I have a lot of people that do that. And I think, oh, or I see people having that done to them too. So whatever's killing your purpose and your goals and your dreams and your natural talent, Rachel says it's time to iQuit. All right. So if you want to learn more about her book and her brand and everything about Rachel, go to her website. Here are her sites. Okay. Ready? Rachel, RACHELB She's also on Facebook under The Rachel B. Foy and under Facebook at Rachel Burdell Foy. That's what the B stands for, Burdell or Burdell. One or the other. She's on Instagram at Rachel B. Foy, and her book, most important thing, her book is on Amazon. iQuit, how letting everything holding, and then it just trails off. But just go to Amazon, type her name or iQuit, and you will find her book. You have to get this book. All right. So without further ado, let's bring her on and find out the scoop on what's going on. Welcome to the show, Rachel B. Foy.
Thank you. I am so excited to be here. Listen, that was an amazing introduction. I'm like, okay, let's get it going.
You're like, hey, I want to meet that chick.
That's right.
She might be able to help me.
She may be able to help me. That's right.
Well, oh my gosh, you're just so impressive, my darling. Congratulations on being a best-selling author of the book and brand iQuit. Great name. I'm always, every week, Rachel, I'm talking about branding, and how important it is at the inception of your career to pick a good name and make it consistent. Because, when you got Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn, have you ever seen people who just try to get cute and they use things like Funny Bunny 684 or It's Me 69, and it's like, why do you do this? Why? Has no one taught you that branding? How are people going to be able to find you? But they still do it, Rachel. They still do it. But
they do.
But see, this is a great title. Now, I briefly gave a description about iQuit. Can you add anything else that you want us to know about that description that I gave?
Well, I can say you really did. You gave it justice. You gave iQuit. You did. You gave it justice. The only thing that I would add is just to expound on what you said is being able to make these choices early. So for me, so much of the thought process is providing for others what I wish I had sooner in life. So it really does culminate what you said, which is being able to make these choices and really understand your power and harness it for your good and for the good of mankind early, so that you don't have to meander and wander so much through life, seeming like it's not in a direction, but definitely being able to find that sooner, for sure.
It's true. Have you ever run into people that, and it's very, very sad, but they're, 65, 75 or plus, and they have not ever been able to lock down their passion or their dream career, or just ever find it? And I'm torn on that, Rachel, because so I think, everything happens for a reason. So if that is something that was their life path, then maybe that's what they were supposed to do. But then I'm torn because I think, God, what if they would have locked down a passion early? Then look, you don't know where they could be right now. Well, what are your thoughts on that? I'm sure you've run across people that this has happened to. They just can't find it.
Sure, I really have. And one of the first things in that type of situation is like taking a deep breath. And I really look through the lens of course, like empathy, because I can empathize with the fact that I didn't necessarily believe that I had direction. And then the plan, air quotations, that I thought I had for myself didn't necessarily pan out, but it was about perspective. So oftentimes I found that if someone is still meandering or they're trying to find what's the purpose in life, what am I supposed to be doing, is they haven't actually allowed themselves to take the time to stop and listen internally. Not what society says, not what has been labeled for you, not even what has been spoken over you, but what do you actually enjoy? And what I found is oftentimes what comes to us naturally and even sometimes seems simplistic is one of our greatest gifts, but we don't identify that as a gift or a passion per se because it comes so easy. And so an example for me is I have always been a talker ever since I was in school. Got in trouble in grade school for always talking, but you
Me too. You can tell I did too.
Right.
In the same damn class after school. Oh.
Right. And so I didn't identify or even believe that could be a gift or a superpower until I was an adult, until I was a grown adult. So there are so many opportunities. I won't say are missed opportunities because, like you said, what was meant for me was meant for me. But I had to shift my perspective. And oftentimes people who are still trying to find what it is they're supposed to do in life, it's often because we haven't listened to ourselves. We have filtered out our own internal voices that really can lead us to the best place for us, lead us to where we're supposed to be giving back, to humanity. But oftentimes we haven't listened to that because we see an idea of what life should look like in the area that I should go in. And I haven't allowed myself the freedom or even the autonomy to discover, but who am I and what do I want and what direction is best for me?
And what are some techniques that one can do to find this answer within themselves? Like, for example, some people say yoga, what do you think are some things?
I love that question. So one thing that I do working with group coaching with women as well as working with youth is I actually have everybody take out a sheet of paper and you write down 25 things. Take a deep breath. I know 25 sounds like a lot, but you're going to write down 25 things and you divide those 25 into 3 categories. What do I enjoy? What do I love? And what would I like to try? So you have to fill out, it has to be 25, whatever order in those 3 categories, but it allows you to really begin to find out, well, what do I like? What does pique my interest? What would I like to try? What do I enjoy? And so in taking that time, it begins to explore. Typically, the first 5 to 10 things we write down are really easy. It's when we go past the number 10 and we start getting into 15 to 25 that you're really delving deeper and you're finding, you're unearthing or peeling back those layers that you haven't gone to before. So that's one of the strategies is taking out a sheet of paper, those 3 categories, write down 25 things. And the reason we say 25 is, like I said, is research statistically, the first 5 to 10 things we write down are automatic and from rote memory. But when we get beyond 10 and typically within that 15 to 25 range, we've really delved deeper into our subconscious that we haven't even explored before. And we start to truly find out more about ourselves. So that's a simple way to start.
Yeah. I mean, that's that aligns completely with my thinking, because I often get asked that question. And what I say, Rachel, is, okay, so I just keep it at plan A, B, and C. I believe in life we need to have plan A, B, and C, right? And I say, okay, so what's the career that, of course, you're going to most likely get forced into by your parents? They want you to be successful, so they want you to be the doctor, the lawyer, the this, the that. Okay, so you may like it, you may not. So you say, okay, well, if they're paying for my ass to go to school, then can I force myself to like it? All right, so that'll be plan A, to make your money, right? To bring your coins home, right? So, okay, so you think, all right, well, maybe I might not. So plan B is, all right, what can I do as a career where it's not going to bring me as much money, but I really like it. Like, it's my passion. It's a hobby. I always tell people, look towards your hobbies, because if you're doing something that you do and you're not getting paid for it, then you'll be able to do it your whole life. And if you just get minimum wage, you're happy, right? Like, you might like to garden. You might like to do this, you might like to do that, but hobbies often are what we enjoy doing, obviously, or we wouldn't be doing them. And if you can make money doing that, that's the dream job. So I always say that plan B always ends up being the dream job, because plan A is always usually, I got to make money, I got to get a job that's going to make enough money. But people end up, Rachel, as you clearly know, get master's degrees and PhDs, and then they say, I don't want to do this. I hate this. I don't want to do this as a career. And then they end up working at the zoo shoveling poo-poo. And, that's fine, because if that's what you love doing, being around the animals, they love that. They just want to be around the animals, and that's fine. So plan C is like, okay, all right, well, plan A, I hate it. I'm not going to be a doctor and a lawyer. Plan B, yes, my hobby, but I need to be able to afford my car payments. So what am I going to do, right? So plan C is something that you use as you pull, like you said, the 25 categories. So what are the subcategories? All right, if you don't want to be a doctor, do you want to be a nurse? Do you want to be an a physician's assistant? Do you want to be a dental assistant? Pull from the subcategories, right? I mean, careers are like trees, right? They have branches. And government work is a perfect example of that. It's the big tree. And then you have all of these other little branches. So careers have so many little subcategories and sub-branches. So just like you go for the 25 categories, that's exactly the same thing. But hobbies, I always say that's where you need to look, because if you got to be happy, Rachel. You can't be working a job that you get stress, tension, right? Anxiety. You can't do it, because it will kill your ass fast, right?
Literally. Yes, it will. That's right. That's exactly right. It will.
They're sitting behind their desk doing their 9 to 5. And if that's not something they love doing, they are going to start having health problems, and they don't even realize it. They say stress is number one killer. I don't know if that's true, but it does every aspect of the personality, I think. Now, Channel 2, CBS Channel 2, KUTV features an article about iQuit. That's so exciting. Tell us how that happened.
So they actually, we put together pretty much, like, my publicist had some questions that they had for me, and we put together that release, that article. And so it really goes over the story again of iQuit. Different aspects of iQuit, from the offerings that we have, as well as the community service via nonprofit that I co-founded together. And it just really goes through, how is this going to be able, this message that typically has a negative connotation, they wanted to know, how did you take that and put a positive spin on it? And that's when we discussed choice. And in the book, I go through so many of my own stories of where I had to quit. And so one of the chapters that's hilarious that we talk about is like, I quit blaming others. And so that talks about accountability and just taking responsibility, but it's just having that opportunity to share on a global scale, I quit, and empowering people to understand that they have the choice and they have the power to transform their lives. It won't be easy, but it's doable. And the article goes into empower, equip, and inspire to action. It's all about, after we talk about all the great, wonderful possibilities, how do we make that happen? And that's by taking action. And we put together a plan.
Wow, that's fantastic. I mean, that's one of my favorite channels, of course. So, you know, what I love is that I like how you say that you can, I quit the toxic environments, toxic people that are draining you, stealing your joy, energy, and your peace, you know, whatever's killing your purpose, goals, dreams, and natural talent. But you know what, Rachel? How many times do we find ourselves telling our friends and family members the same things over and over and over? And you know, people always ask for the truth, but they don't want to hear it unless it aligns with what their thoughts are. They don't want to hear it. People, don't ask me if you don't want to hear it. And then as soon as you tell them the truth, right, you become the enemy. Or you know, it's like, well, don't ask me. You got the cheating ass boyfriend who I just saw hit and try to hump my mother's leg, and now you want me to tell you something good about him? And as soon as you say something, what happens, Rachel? You become the bad girlfriend. You become the bad friend, right? So my question to you is, how do you use the iQuit program to quit those toxic environments? Because these are friends, you hear these damn stories over and over and over, and it's like, you want to be a good friend, Rachel, but you can't keep telling the same energy, because what are the same answers? Because what are they doing to you, Rachel? They're draining you, they're stealing your joy, your energy, your peace. So how can you call that person a best friend, or, you know, a boyfriend or a husband? You know, that's really hard to break away from. What do you do? What do you suggest?
So one of the ways, because I had to do this in my own life, is we have to come to the realization that people are ready in their timing. So we may be trying to share this information and they're just not in a place where they're actually ready to receive it. And at that time, I'm like, well, you have the choice to determine, are you going to continue to expel your energy there, or are you going to move on and like, hey, when they're ready, they can come back. If you do have someone who is ready, I really do work towards allowing them to see for themselves and come to their own conclusion. Because the truth is, they already know what they know. Like, they know that is not a good boyfriend. They want someone to tell them differently and not affirm what they already know. So in that question, like, I'm not going to talk about your boyfriend. I'm going to ask you, like, what do you really want? Like, what does love look like for you? What does love feel like for you? What would be an ideal date? Like, what would just make your life light up? And allow them to truly begin to speak, maybe for the first time, what they actually desire and what they deserve. And after they've spoken all of these things, then I ask them, are you receiving that right now in your relationship? Do you get that from your boyfriend? And then, but after they answer those questions, then I ask them, but do you give that to yourself? Because the kind of love that you're asking for someone else to give to you, are you giving that to Rachel, to me? So before I can ask someone else to love me fully and completely, have I allowed Rachel? Do I know how to love fully and completely Rachel? And so when I started approaching it that way and really allowing them to envision and to feel what it could look like and what they desire, and then put the question on them, like Shakespeare, to thine own self be true. Like, you can tell me whatever, but you can't lie to yourself. So, you can tell me whatever, but you can't lie to yourself. So when I take it off of me giving advice and just asking you, like, what do you really want? What does it really look like? What does it feel like? Okay, are you receiving that right now? And so part of iQuit is not just quitting the toxic relationship with other people, but the first toxic relationship we have to quit is with ourselves. And that's what I learned. Yeah.
Oh, God, I love that. Oh, I'm having an out-of-body experience right now. But, yeah, because I tell people this, and I tell them, and a lot of times, because, now, I wanted to ask if that's the same advice you would give people who are pursuing their goals and their dreams, right? Because it's one thing to give advice about how to deal with a boyfriend or a husband or a friend, but what do you tell people who, God bless them, Rachel, you've run across people like this. All right. So they want to be actors. They want to be singers. They want to be in the entertainment industry. I'm sure that you may have watched, for example, American Idol or The Voice or one of these shows where they come on and God bless their little hearts and souls, they can't sing. But, they're getting their mothers and their friends saying, oh, my God, you're so good. You're so good. And they have pretty much, taken these people's dreams. And I believe in being positive and pumping it up. But what do you say to a person who believes with their heart and their soul, and everybody is telling them that they're great at something, and then they come on and they cannot sing in tune, or they don't have a natural acting ability? I mean, you can always learn techniques, but there are differences between learning techniques and being good at something and being great at something. And if these people have their heart set on doing this, what do you do, Rachel? I mean, I don't ever want to break somebody's heart, dreams, or goals. So I always try to pull the very best that I see and be honest with it. What do you?
Right. Well, wow, that's a tough one. It is.
I always, because I'm in the entertainment industry, I go to a lot of stuff, and I'm always coming across people who they show me, they will corner me, Rachel, and show me their demo reel on Actors Access or Now Casting, and people know within 5 seconds, especially casting directors, right? Within 5 seconds if someone has the it. Factor, right?
Right.
So it's so difficult. So I try the best. I say, you know what? Well, this would be great if you would continue your acting classes and maybe, and then I ... But what do you do, Rachel? What do you recommend? Because you want to be positive. You never want to crush someone's dreams. But there is a point where if, Rachel, they are continuing 5, 10, 15 years of their lives pursuing something and they're disillusioned, that's a large chunk of your life that you're never going to get. How do you get them to face reality?
Well, the first thing is, in that situation, and because I've dealt with situations similar to that, the first question is, like, what do you define as success? So some people, their success I want to be, on the big screen. I want to be at a box office. I want to step on a stage and I want to speak to tens of thousands of people. Okay, but is that how you define success? And then I want to know why. Like, why do you define that as successful? And so once they've given their definition of what success is and what it looks like for them, then I'm going to ask, like, what is the work that you're willing to put in? So we frame it with something positive and we're asking these questions, but I don't believe in toxic positivity. Now, we're going to be positive in the fact that this may be something that you want to pursue, but often I always take people back to the results, almost like KPI when you think about business. What are the key performance indicators here? So let's look at the results that we're given. When we're thinking about like the book Outlier, and it's talking about putting in those 10,000 hours, all of that practice, all of that work. If you have been doing that all of your life, you may see success, but just not on the scale that you're wanting. Like you may end up doing community theater or something like that. And that's not saying it's bad. It's just saying that you're not going to make it to the screen, but you're still acting. You may not go and speak and have a TED Talk, but you're speaking in the community. So you're still utilizing those skills and still that passion, that fire that's burning, you're still able to move in that direction. So I'm still going to look at the truth of the matter, and we're still going to have to look at what are the results telling us. And oftentimes when you frame it that way, okay, well, what have you been doing? Like, what have you put in? And I'll just have to be honest. Oftentimes I found people that have so many of the lofty goals and lofty ideas, does your work ethic and your dedication really match with this magnitude of a goal that you set? And typically it doesn't.
It is so true.
It
Oh
doesn't.
my God,
It
Rachel.
doesn't.
I am dealing with that situation right now. Oh, I cannot believe you said that. And no matter what I say, or when anybody else says to this particular person, they will not hear it. There's always, but what if I did this? But what if I did that? But they don't want to put the work in. That's
There you go.
Those are people who want to walk the red carpet, but they don't want to do the work that's involved with getting there. You know, these people often say, wow, who's that person who's starring in this new TV show? I've never heard it. Where'd they come from? Well, this person was working and chipping away at their goals.
That's
they
right.
might not have been in front of you the whole time, but they've been chipping away. And a lot of people I find that come out here, Rachel, who want to pursue a career as an actor or singer, they don't want to put the work in. They just want to walk the red carpet. I'm like, go to Walmart, get yourself a damn hallway runner that's red, and walk your ass
roll it
up
out.
And down.
Yeah.
That's the only red carpet you're ever going to walk. I mean, if you don't do the work, don't be lazy. Oh my God! So yeah,
you got to do the work. Yeah,
got to. But
and so many people, they want to see, like you said, they want to walk the red carpet, but that's like the accomplishment at the end. That's the prize per se at the end. But there's an entire process that went into that part. So oftentimes people want the product or the celebration, but they don't want to go through the process. And that's what you're speaking of, is they don't want to go through the process. Yeah, the process is not easy.
Yeah, and that's for any career. You got to look, before you decide on a career, you better look at what it entails. I mean, an actor works 16, 17 hours a day on the set. Do you have the stamina? Not that you want to. A lot of people can say, yes, I can do it. Yes, I want to do it. But do you have the stamina? You may not. You may be a person who has ADHD. You may be a person who gets bored easily. You may be a person, and you can't do it. No matter what you want, you may not be able to physically and mentally do it. People don't understand
That's right.
that. They don't understand that. It takes a lot of patience, and you really got to do A, B, C, 1, 2, 3 in any career. So think about that,
Absolutely.
people. Now, you are called, I've never heard this term, Miss Rachel. It's called a mompreneur. I've never heard this. I love this term. Did you coin that phrase, or what is a mompreneur? What inspired you to be a mompreneur?
So I cannot take credit. I did not coin the phrase mompreneur, but it resonates fully with me. So there are serialpreneurs, there's entrepreneurs, but I really love mompreneur. And so for me, it keeps the main thing in my life, which is mom. I have 2 daughters, and right now at this time in life, these 2 daughters are they are the mission in life. Like, they are the focus right now. And so, yes, I have my business. Yes, I have a number of opportunities, speak, go places, but the main thing is whatever I'm doing, never losing sight of the priority is raising my kids, ensuring that they are receiving what they need. So that's why mompreneur, I didn't coin it. And I'll just tell you, people are like, well, why are you so passionate, about your kid? Because you're doing all these great things, but you always focus on your kids. And I'll share with you, I share this story in the book, but part of it is at 3 months, my husband and I, when we were newlyweds, we had a son. And at 3 months, my son passed. And so, yeah, he passed. And it was the most traumatic, most difficult, most life-challenging, life-changing, but I'll also say life-transforming experience. And that's a lot of where iQuit originated from, and I didn't even know, because I began to understand that I was in such a deep depression, I had to choose to wake up in the morning. I had to choose to live. I had to choose joy. And so with the help of therapy and counseling, and really allowing myself to go through the grief process and making a resolve that I didn't want to just survive in life, but that I wanted to thrive in life. Everything I do is with the perspective and a lens that I truly understand that we have no idea when our time is going to be up. So while I'm here on this earth, I'm going to do everything I'm supposed to for my daughters as a mom, but I'm also going to allow God to use me however he wants to all around this globe with iQuit. So that's where mompreneur resonates for me, is that I can be a lot of different things, but I never take for granted. It is never lost on me how difficult it was to have my 2 daughters and what we've gone through. So the joy that you see and the mompreneur and everything we do is because of the life processes I've been through. And iQuit isn't just a movement, it's what I've lived. And so I don't ever want that to overshadow or to make me lose focus of the priority in my life right now, which are my children, my 2 daughters.
Oh my gosh. So I assume that everything up until the point where you wrote iQuit was the reason that you wrote iQuit. I mean, am I right?
You are right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So
yes.
They, along with what had happened to you in your life, inspired you to write iQuit. And iQuit means I quit being. Give me 3 words that you thought of when you were about to write the book. I quit.
Fear. I quit. I actually say this in the I quit fear. Worrying about what others think of me, and limited belief.
Wow. Now I gotta ask you, what would you give people who are listening right now? Because I'm gonna bring this up because a lot of times, as you clearly know, because you're obviously an extremely intelligent person who stays up with things, so you know what's going on right now. You know that around the holiday season, you know that suicide rates have increased 67% since social media, Facebook, Twitter, all the social media, because the studies are saying that people get very sad and depressed depressed because they're looking at other people posting, oh, the picture of their family, or they did this, or they did that, or they have this, or they have that. And they put their best foot forward. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? But a lot of people can't jump onto their joy. They can't ride the highway to heaven bandwagon like most of us can, right? They get sad, they get depressed. They cannot find the power that comes from reading your book. Say, for example, iQuit. They don't know about it, but they're going to know about it today. But for people who don't know about it, during this time when people feel very sad around the holiday season, what words of inspiration, or what can you say that they can grasp onto to pull themselves out? Because believe me, the people who post all of these things on social media, it is not like that 100% of the time in their lives, right? Most of them,
right.
It's like, come on, I don't want to see that. You post that picture and you just snorted a rail coke 5 minutes ago, talking about
exactly.
Talking about, I live a healthy lifestyle and I got some damn cucumber water. Yeah, you've got some cucumber water sitting right next to that rail of coke and that crack pipe. No, but you know what I'm saying? What?
Yes, I do.
What can you tell people? Don't let social media dominate. I say shut it off. You know what I do, Rachel? I do a social media detox. I don't even
Me too.
turn my phone on most of the time. I don't.
Yep.
I don't care.
I do the same. That's right. I do the exact same thing that you do, where I will go on what I call a social media detox, especially during the holidays. Because for me, I can get the holiday blues. They call it the holiday blues as well. My son passed December 7th, and my dad passed. He passed like during Easter, but you have all these holidays that you miss people. So what I've learned to do is I know what my triggers are, and social media actually, even though I am fully aware that you are posting a highlight reel because that's a cute little picture of you and your family, but your kid was just crying and snotting like 2 seconds ago, and you just wiped their face and they hurried up and snapped the picture. Like, I know the truth behind the gram photo. Like, I know the truth. So I know that is not reality. It's really you're posting, and I love the title of your show, Question Reality. Like, that is not reality. That is a snippet, and that is framed just for social media. So that's the first thing, is understand it's not reality. If you can't get past that, then I really do encourage you not to get on social media and to actually go and create your own memories. And I know that it won't be easy, especially for those. I have a couple of friends who have lost like several of their family members. And so they didn't necessarily have like blood family, but they had colleagues and they had coworkers, or they had workout buddies, or like you said, a gardening group, a running club, a band that they played with, where family is not just who you've been assigned to, but family can be who you create, like the bonds and the relationships that you create. So I would definitely encourage around this time is to stop watching everyone else live and you go live. You go create memories. You go make memories. And you don't have to compare. You know, comparison is the thief of joy. So you don't have to compare your life to anyone else's, because we're not even going to be looking at social media. We're going to be out here creating memories, creating joy, and creating experiences for ourselves. And it doesn't just have to be, again, blood relatives or biological relatives. Family is who you create it with. That's what your family is.
And friends are an extension of one's family. And if you don't have a family,
absolutely,
who the hell cares? You make your own damn family by your friends.
That's right.
You can have something called a Friendsgiving.
Friendsgiving, yes.
You know, I have a Friendsgiving for for Thanksgiving along, and then I
Yes.
have called a Friendsmas every year, and those are for all the people who don't have family here, because a lot of people move to California and they don't have
Yeah.
family and friends. So you can have your own Friendsgiving, your own Friendsmas, and it's just you and a bunch of people, and you become your own little family, just like on the
Yes.
show Friends. There you go. Well, I want to thank you so much, Miss Rachel B. Foy, and I want everyone, if you got to go buy her book. Obviously, listening to her, I feel so motivated and inspired. I'm going to go buy her book. You can find it on Amazon. Just type her name, Rachel B. Foy. And also go to her website, rachelbfoy.com. She's on Facebook at the Rachel B. Foy and at Rachel Burdell Foy. Instagram, Rachel B. Foy. I love how you kept the branding, girl. You have that. I'm very proud.
I've been taught well, and I listened. I actually listened.
Yes. Oh my God. Thank you so much for being on the show. Say goodbye to all your friends, family, and fans.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me here. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. I have laughed. I have gotten emotional, and it has been an amazing time. So you guys go out there and be empowered, and more than anything, know to live every day to the fullest, because the choice is yours.
That's right. And I got to get a promise from you to come back on my show next year, because you got to motivate people again.
Whoop, whoop. I'll be ready. Yes, let's get them going.
Girl.
Let's get them.
We're going to have Rachel B. Foy back on the show to give us joy. Oh, I love how
I love that.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to Rachel. We'll see you next week on Question Reality. Bye.
You're listening to Question Reality with Priscilla Leona, right here on LA Talk Radio.